Please mark your present, everyone. Okay, have you done with your presentee? Let's start. Your lesson number one was sources of history. Okay, sources of history was your lesson number one. So what we have studied in this, the material sources, then material sources included building and places. Okay, in that we have studied museums and history, statues and memorials. Then written sources included periodical correspondence, foreign accounts, factory records, newspapers, autobiographies, biographies and books. Okay, maps and drawings are also included in that. Then oral sources included inspirational songs, video, audio and audio visual sources included photographs. Okay, oral sources are also includes the povada, recordings, and films. I think first we should read this lesson. Okay, like we did for science, you will read the lesson and then we will go to the question answer. It's okay if today we complete only one lesson. So we will read first and then we will go to the question answer. Okay, so okay, first is Rudra, start reading.
Yes, ma'am. We have studied the sources of ancient and medieval Indian history. This year, we are going to study the sources of modern Indian history. Historical sources include material, written, and oral sources. Similarly, sources based on modern technologies such as audio, video, and audiovisual are included. Material sources. Various objects, monuments, places, coins, sculptures, etc. can be included in the material source of history. Buildings and places. The period of modern Indian history is believed as period of European, especially the British rule and governance of princely states. In this period, various buildings, bridges, roads, water supply system, fountains, etc. were built. These buildings include government offices, residence of officers, leaders and revolutionaries, palaces of rulers of the princely states, forts, prisons, etc. Among these monuments, many buildings are intact even today. Some are declared as national monuments, whereas some are converted into museums. For example, Cellular Jail in Ahmedabad. While visiting these sites, we get information about contemporary history, architecture, nature of the monument, and also the economic condition of that particular period. Just as during the visit to Cellular Jail in Andaman, we get information about the revolutionary work of V.D. Savarkar. By visiting Mani Bhavan in Mumbai or Sevagram Ashram at Wardha, we get information about the history of Gandhian era.
Okay, stop.
Do you know? Museums.
Stop. Now Soham, start reading.
Museum and history. For the study of history, various objects, paintings, photographs, and such other things are preserved in a museum at the A- Aja Khan Place in Pune. We can see different objects, documents giving
Aga Khan
information.
Palace.
Aga Khan Palace in Pune, we can see different of objects, documents giving information about the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Status and memorials
Statues.
during statues and memorials during pre-independence and post-independence period. Memorials of many personalities were erected in the forms of statues These statues are also important for the studies of modern Indian history. The various statues provide information about the contemporary rulers and
Eminent.
eminent personalities. The display pla- plaques on the statues gives us information about the full name of concer-
Concern.
concerned concerned person, but and their details, brief information about their contribution, and a biographical sketch of the personal just the statues of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Lokmanya Tilak, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. There are memorials which are erected in the memory of various events which give information about the concerned event period, people related to the event, etc. For example, Hutatma Samark at various places.
Okay, stop. It was Hutatma Smarak. Okay, now Mansi.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, read from written sources.
Yes, written sources. The following excerpts are included in the written sources of modern Indian history. Written sources: correspondence, periodicals, foreign accounts, factory records, newspapers, autobiographies, biographies, books. Newspapers and periodicals. Newspapers provide us information about the contemporary events. Along with it, detailed analysis of a particular event, views of eminent people, editorials are also published. We get information about the political, social, economic, and cultural happenings of that period. In the pre-independence period, newspapers like Dayananda, Dhyan Prakash,
Jnanodai.
ज्ञानोदय, ज्ञान प्रकाश, अमृत बाजार, अ,
Patrika.
Patrika, Dinbandhu, Kesari acted as important source of awakening the minds of the people. Through the newspapers, we can study the British policies regarding India and their effects on India. During the British period, newspapers were not only the source of political events but also acted as a source of social reformation. The Nibandhamala by Vishnu Shastri Chipunkar and Shat, Miss what is that?
Shatapatre. Shatapatre.
Shatapatre, written by
Lokhitvadi.
Lokahitawadi, else Gopal Hari Deshmukh in the weekly Prabhakar comments on various social and cultural issues.
Okay, stop. Next is Karthik. Karthik, start reading. Yes, Karthik. Karthik, can you hear me? Okay, let it be. Nidhi. Nidhi, start reading.
Let's
Yes.
just Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and newspapers. In January 1920, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar started a fortnightly Muknayak, but later Dr. Ambedkar had to leave for higher studies to England and hence he handed over this paper to his colleges in April 1927. Dr. Ambedkar started a newspaper Bahishukrat Bharat. Through
Bahishkrut Bharat.
Bahishkrut Bharat through the medium of Bahishkrut Bharat is wrote for the reformation of common people and bring unity among them. Apart from this, he also started two more newspapers, namely Janta and Prabuddha Bharat. Maps and drawing. Map is also regarded as an important source of history. The changing nature of a city or a particular location can be tracked through map. The
Traced.
traced through map. The Survey of India was an independent department established during the British period. Through the scientific method of survey, they have created
Survey.
survey they have create map of India. Various provinces of India, cities, etc. Similarly, the plans designed by the architect pro important from the view of study of architecture of the building as well as phases of development process of a particular area. For example, the Department of Mumbai Port Trust as the original plan of the Bombay Port. Information about development of Bombay city can be understood through the plans drafted by architects and engineers.
Okay,
Oral
stop. Stop. Next is Gaurav. Gaurav, read oral sources.
Yes, ma'am. Oral sources. The following sources are included in the oral sources of modern Indian history. Oral sources: folk songs, povada,
Folk song.
folk tales, narration, interviews, fairs, jalsa, arts groups, rhythmic prose, ovi, inspirational song. Inspirational song. During the period of the freedom movement, various inspirational songs were composed. At present, some of these songs are available in the written form, but there are many other unpublished inspirational songs memorized by the freedom fighters. Through this inspirational song, we can get information about the conditions during pre-independence period and also the spirit behind the freedom struggle and could be understood. Povada. Povada is a source for getting information about a historical event or the work of a person. There are various povadas composed on freedom struggle in 1857, where valor of revolutionaries
Revolutionaries.
during British rule, etc. These povadas were used to create motivation and spirit among the people apart from the from freedom movement. The povadas were composed based on the work of ma'am, what is that word?
Satyashodhak.
Satyashodak Samaj for awakening among the oppressed classes by Samyukta Maharashtra movement and such other events.
Okay,
Video.
stop. Stop, stop.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, good. Next is Vedant. Vedant, right? Okay, start reading. Yes, Vedant.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, start reading.
Video, audio, and audiovisual sources. During the modern period, due to development of technology, there was development in the art of photography, recording films, etc. Obviously, these photographs, records, or films can be used as a source of history. Photographs are visual source of modern Indian history. With the discovery of art of photography, photograph of various persons,
Don't read too
events,
fast.
objects.
Please, please, please don't read too fast. Make it easy.
Okay. Photographs of various persons, events, objects, structure, places were clicked. Through these photographs, we get information of the person or an event in a visual format. In case of medieval period, there are paintings available that depict the physical features of a person or visual description of a particular event. But the authenticity of these paintings is doubtful. Comparatively, photographs are considered to be more reliable. The photograph of a person gives information about the physical features, dressing style, etc. Photograph of an event give a visual image of the event, whereas photograph of an object or structure helps understanding its nature. Recordings. The discovery of technique of recording was also important as photography. Recording is a form of audio source of history during modern period. The speeches of leaders or important personalities, songs, etc. are available in the form of recordings. They can be used as a source of history. For example, national anthems Janagana Mana sung by Rabindranath Tagore himself or the speeches of Subhash Chandra Bose can be used as audio source for the studying of history of modern India.
Okay,
Films.
stop.
Films are
Yes,
considered
yes, yes.
as
Continue. Continue.
films. Films are considered as a unique discovery of modern technology. In the 20th century, there was a great development in the technique of filmmaking. Dadasaheb Phalke, in the year 1913, laid the foundation of Indian film industry. Audiovisual recordings of Dandi Yatra, Salt Satyagraha, Quiet India Movement, and such other historical incidents are available. Through these films, the events could be seen in reality. Compared to ancient or medieval period, the sources of study of modern Indian history are found in abundance and variety. The archaeological sources of this period great are to a great extent found in a better state. There are many written sources preserved in the archives, but while referring the written sources, the ideology and opinions of the author regarding the particular event needs to be examined. There is a great need of preserving these historical sources through which the rich tradition of history can be handed over to the next generation.
Okay, good. Okay, so you have read whole lesson. Okay, what it included: main sources of history. What was the sources? Material sources, then written sources, oral sources, okay, photographs and films. So we will move to the question answer first. You have to answer the questions which are there in exercise. Then I will ask questions from the lesson itself. Okay. Okay. So let's start. Uh, okay. For this, you can for sorry, here you have to choose the appropriate option, that is fill in the blank, and you just have to write answer, that is the option name, sorry, option number that is denoted by ABCD in the chat box. Okay, let's start. Among the historical sources, dash dash sources are based on modern technology. Yes, it's D, audio visual sources. Among the historical sources. Okay. Okay. Mansi, read the whole statement with answer.
Yes, teacher. Among the historical sources, audiovisual sources are based on modern technology.
Okay, good. Okay. Your next question is, the dash dash is a museum in Pune which gives information about the history of Mahatma Gandhi. Yes. Yes. It's a Aga Khan Palace. Rudra, read this sentence with answer.
Yes, Miss. The Aga Khan Palace is a museum in Pune which gives information about the history of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes. Now, third is, a unique discovery of modern technology in 20th century is dash dash. Yes, yes. It's D, films. Okay, Gaurav, please read the sentence with the answer.
Yes, ma'am. A unique discovery of modern technology in 20th century's photograph.
Yes, it's films, right?
Films, sorry, films.
Yes, yes, films. Yes, 20th century. See, you can see over here. Yes, Soham, for you also, you have also written option number B. See, in the 20th century, the unique discovery was they developed a technique of filmmaking. Okay, and Dada Saheb Phalke in 1913 laid the foundation of Indian film industry. म्हणून आज जे काही बेस्ट ऍक्टर्स, बेस्ट ऍक्ट्रेस असतात त्यांना दादासाहेब फाळके हा अवॉर्ड दिला जातो. येस, तुम्ही कधी नोटीस केलंय का? अवॉर्ड फंक्शनला बॉलिवूड किंवा मराठी अवॉर्ड फंक्शनला दादासाहेब फाळके पुरस्कार दिला जातो. तो या कारणामुळे, कारण दादासाहेब फाळके यांनीच फिल्म्सचा पहिल्यांदा फिल्म्स त्यांनीच बनवल्या होत्या. ओके, सो लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Explain the following statement with reason. Okay, you have to give a reason. For this, you have to write your name in the chat box. During the British period, newspapers also acted as source of social reformation. During the British period, newspaper also acted as source of social reformation. Okay, is there, first of all, tell me, is there anyone from Marathi medium? Okay, no. Okay, then Rudra, you can answer this question.
Newspapers like Amrit Bazar, Patrika, Deenbandhu, Jnanodaya, Kesari, etc. acted as important source to awaken the minds of people. Newspaper in the period not only opposed imperialism but also educated the masses and created awareness among the people. The people Vishnu Shastri Chiplunkaran Shatapatre written by Lokhitawadi Alice Gopal Hari Deshmukh published in the weekly. Prabhakar commented on various social and cultural issues. Newspapers threw light on ill customs like sati, child marriage, ban on widow remarriage, etc., and awakened minds of the people. We came to know about the various policies of British towards India and their effects on India. Thus, newspapers were not only source of political events but also acted as a source of social information. Thank you, Miss.
Okay. Next is audio-visual recordings are considered as the most trustworthy sources for the study of modern Indian history. Okay, Gaurav, you want to answer this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Audio visual recordings are considered a trustworthy source of study of modern history because important events during the freedom struggle could be seen in reality. Audio visual recordings of Danti March, Quiet India Movement, Salt Satyagraha, and other historical events are available. Films
For
also default with subjects like social problems, superstition, practices. They reflect competitors' social, religious, political issues. Therefore, audiovisual recordings are considered as a unique discovery of 20th century. Yes, ma'am, done.
okay, Mansi, will you answer this question?
Miss, which one?
Yes, the second one only.
Okay.
Because I was unable to hear Gaurav. You all, do you all heard him? Please
Yes,
tell me.
miss.
Okay, you heard her clear. Sorry, you heard him clearly. Okay, so I think there was problem with my network only. Yes, is it so? Okay. Okay. So yes, it was breaking. That's what I was asking. Okay, Mansi, please continue with the second one only.
Okay, miss. A question. Audiovisual recordings are considered as the most trustworthy source for the study of modern Indian history. Audiovisual recordings are considered as trustworthy sources for study of modern history because important events during the freedom struggle could be seen in reality. Audiovisual recordings of Dundee March, Quit India Movement, Salt Satyagraha, and other historical events are available. Films also deal with subjects like social problems, superstition, practices. They reflect contemporary social, religious, political issues. Therefore, audiovisual recordings are considered as a unique discovery of 20th century.
Yes. Okay, now the question number three is you have to write a short note on. Okay, photographs. You have to tell me something about photographs. Okay, Nidhi, you can answer this question now.
Yes, ma'am. Before the invention of photography, paintings were an important source of history, but the authenticity of such paintings is doubtful. Photographs are considered more reliable as the lens capture the person, events, and objects exactly as they appear. The photograph of a person gives information about the physical features, dressing style, etc. Photographs enable us to recreate visual image of an event. Photographs of an object or structure helps in understanding its nature. Hence, photographs are important visual source of modern Indian history.
Okay, good. Now, Gaurav, uh, can you tell about museum and history? Yes, Gaurav?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my voice is audible?
Yes, now you're audible clearly.
Yes, ma'am. A place where ancient artifacts, paintings, photographs, tools, coins, documents, clothes, etc. are exhibited is known as museum. Ancient artifacts give us information about the economic, social, politic, and religious condition of the respective periods. The metal and the inscription of on the coin tell us about the economic condition of that period and the metals used. We come to know progress in art of making tools, paintings, sculptures, and metallurgy. History and museums are related. They are important source of written history. I'm done.
Okay. Anyone else want to answer this? Yes, anyone else? Anything different?
Ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am, can I give the third one?
Yes. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, you can.
Audio sources. Answer. Recording is a form of audio sources in history. The discovery of technique of recording was very important. Aksh- Akashvani audio tapes are considered important audio sources. Janagana Mana, sung by Rabindranath Tagore, speeches of Subhash Chandra Bose, Mahatma Gandhi, speeches of leader and personalities and broadcast of Akashvani. We get to know about prevalent social, culture, intellectual, and educational history of a particular period from the audio source. It helps. Uh, it is helpful for students conducting research in history.
Can you hear clearly? Tell me, please. Okay, yes, Rudra, answer about audio source.
Yes, Miss, the development of technology in the modern period led to the important discovery of technique of recording. Recording is a form of audio source of history. During modern period, the speeches of leaders or more important personalities, songs, etc. are available in the form of recordings and can be used as a source of history. For example, the national anthem Jana Gana Mana, sung by Rabindranath Tagore, or the speeches of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Thank you.
Okay, because I was expecting this only, as Akashvani and all are not mentioned over here. Okay, so I was expecting this. Uh, Next, material sources. What are all material sources? Yes, Mansi.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, what are material sources?
Books, monuments, museums, buildings, clothes, transport, currency, and goods and products.
Okay, now tell me. Uh, okay, tell me something about maps and drawings. Maps and drawings. Yes, who will answer this question? As I have told you, first we will solve the exercise and then I will ask you something from the lesson itself. Yes, Rudra. Okay.
Yes, Miss. Map is also regarded as an important source of history. The changes nature of cities or a particular location area can be traced by maps. The Survey of India, an independent department established during the British period, have created maps of India, its various provinces, cities, etc. Similarly, the plans are designed by the artifacts prove important from the view of study of architecture of a building as well as phase of development process of a particular area.
Okay. Your next question is how Povadas are considered as historical sources. How Povadas are considered as historical sources. How we can say that Povada is a historical source. What information we get from Povadas by listening Povadas? What information we get? Okay, Nidhi. Yes, Nidhi.
Yes, ma'am. Poara. Poara is a dramatic uh, narration by alternatingly reciting poetry and extract. It is a source to get information about a historical work of a person or event. Poems were composed on a freedom struggle of 1857 and values of revolutionary during the British rule. सत्यशोधक समाज composed पोवाडा to awaken the oppressed classes. During the Samyukta Maharashtra movement, povadas were composed. They infused enthusiasm and vitality.
Okay. Next is what types of buildings were included in the material sources? What types of buildings are included in the material sources? Yes, Mansi.
Um, in this period, various buildings, bridges, roads, water supply systems, foundation, etc. were built.
Yes, but what types of buildings were there? Yes, Rudra.
Yes, miss. Means buildings include government offices, residence of
Yes,
officers, leaders, and riven, river,
revolutionaries.
yes, miss.
Yes, this was expected.
This is palaces of rulers of princely states, forts, prisons, etc.
Okay, yes. How films are considered as a um, discovery of modern technology in the 20th century? How films are considered as discovery of modern technology? Yes, what were the plus values of that? How we used it as our historical source? Yes, Mansi.
Films are considered as a unique discovery of modern technology. In the 20th century, there was a great development in the technique of filmmaking. Dadasaheb Phalke in the year 1913 laid the foundation of Indian film industry. Audiovisual recording of Dandi Yatra, Salt Satyagraha, Quit Indian Movement and such other historical incidents are available. Through these films, the events could be seen in the reality. So the films are known as the
Yes,
discovery
unique
of
discovery of modern technology. Okay,
unique discovery of modern technology.
okay. Uh, Now you all are clear about lesson number one. Okay, Rudra, any question? Okay, okay. So let's see lesson number two. Okay, we have half an hour, and let's see lesson number two. Okay, in lesson number two, we have studied about Europe and India. Let's read. Let's start reading. Yes, first is Gaurav. Gaurav, start reading.
Yes, ma'am. Chapter number 2, Europe and India. During the modern period, the various happening in Europe had its impact on India. Therefore, while studying the period of the modern India in history, we have to study the events happening in Europe during this period. Period of what is that word?
Renaissance.
Renaissance. In history of Europe, the last phrase phase of the medieval period, that is 13th to 16th century. And 1 minute, one call is coming.
Okay, who will continue this? Yes, Nidhi. Nidhi, please continue.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, whereas it is, the voice is breaking to me.
Yes, you can read from period of Renaissance.
Mm,
Okay, ma'am. Period of Renaissance. In history of Europe, the last phase of medieval period, uh, i.e., 13th to
That IE is that is.
that is 13th to 16th century is known as the period of Renaissance. During this period, Reformation, religious reform movement, and geographical discoveries laid the foundation of modern era. Hence, this period is also known as the Age of Renaissance. During this period,
Renaissance, Nidhi, that is Renaissance.
Renaissance. During this period, in the field of art, architecture, philosophy, etc., there was a revival of Greek and Roman tradition, which gave momentum to an overall development. During the Renaissance, ma'am, what is this?
Humanitarianism. You
Humanitarianism
can break the word and read. Break it and read it.
humanitarianism was
Yes.
great impetus. There was a change in the outlook of treating each other as a human being. Instead of religion, man becomes center point of all ideolo-
Ideologies.
ideologies. The reform movement spread throughout all sectors of human life. Through knowledge, science, as well as different sections of art, we can observe the discoveries of reform movement. The art and literature of Renaissance period depict sentiments and emotions of human beings. Literature was produced in a local language of better understanding to the common people. During 1450 AD, Johannes Gutenberg from Germany discovered a printing press. Due to this discovery, new idea, concept, and knowledge reached to the all section of society.
Okay, stop. Next is Mansi. Mansi, read from religious reform movement.
Yes, teacher. Religious reform movement. The independent intellectuals,
Intellectuals.
intellectuals
Intellectuals. Huh.
attacked the old religious ideologies of Roman Catholic Church. The Christian priests were taking advantage of the ignorance of the people and were indulged in unnecessary rituals. They looted the people in the name of religion. The movement that being against it is known as the religious reform movement. Due to this movement, human freedom and rationalism gain more importance. Geographical discoveries. In 1453 AD, the Ottoman Turks conquered Constantinople, Istanbul, which was the capital of Byzantine Empire. The overland trade routes joining Asia and Europe went through these cities. Since the Turks blocked this route, there was a need of finding alternative trade routes for the European countries to reach Asia. This led to a new phase of geographical discoveries. That we have to read that let us know
Yes,
also.
yes, yes, yes.
Let us know. Geographical discoveries. During 15th century, European sailors went on expedition to discover sea route in India. In 1487, 8 Bartolome Dias, a Portuguese sailor, began his expedition in search of India, but reached the tip of African continent, which we now know as the Cape of Good Hope. In 1492 AD, Christopher Columbus set on his journey to India by sailing towards west but reached on the eastern coast of a continent of America. In 1498 AD, Portuguese sailor
Vasco da Gama.
Vasco da Gama managed to sail past the Cape of Good Hope and reach the Indian coast in what Cal-
Calicut.
Calicut.
Okay, stop. Rudra. Yes, Rudra, please start reading.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Intellectual revolution in Europe. Due to the changes during the Renaissance period, Europe proceeded from medieval to modern age. Intellectual revolution took place in the same period. The society starts stepping out the past ignorance and blind faith. The pre-established customs and traditions came to be seen from a critical point of view. All these changes are addressed as intellectual revolution, which gave further momentum to scientific discoveries in Europe. Revolution in political spread. In, in the earlier stage of beginning of modern period in Europe, many political changes took place due to various revolutionary uh, events during 18th as well as 19th century. This period is known as the Age of Revolution. During this period, there was development of parliamentary democracy in England. There was change in the form of cabinet system. The Bill of Rights 1689 laid limitations on the power of king. The sovereignty of parliament was established. American War of Independence. With the background of revolutionary development in Europe, it is equally important to think about the American War of Independence. With the discovery of America, the European countries turned their attention towards this content. The imperialist European countries took control of different regions of America and established their colonies. England established 13 colonies on east coast of America. Initially, England had normal domination over these colonies, but later English Parliament laid oppressive restrictions and taxes on these. American colonies, the people in America revolted against it. England declared a war to suppress these colonies. American colonies organized the army under the leadership of George Washington and finally won against England. This event is known as American War of Independence. A new nation known as United States of America with a federal government, written constitution and based on the principles of democracy was born. French Revolution. In 1789 AD, the people of France revolted against
Okay,
the
stop, stop,
uncontrolled and
stop.
okay,
Okay. Then Gaurav, please read from French Revolution.
Yes, ma'am. French Revolutions. In 1789 AD, the people of France revolted against the uncontrolled and unjust. Ma'am, what is that word?
Monarchy.
Monarchy and feudalism and established a republic. The event This event is known as French Revolution. The French Revolution gave to the world the three values of liberty, equality, and fraternity. In the world history, among the political revolutions, the American War of Independence and French Revolution have a very important place. Industrial Revolution. In the latter period, in 18th century, there were many technological innovations in Europe. There was production with the help of machines running on steam. The cottage industries were replaced by big factories. Machine came to be used instead of handloom. Railway and steamers become the mode of transportation. The age of machines began, and that is known as Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution began in England and then separate in other parts of West.
Spread. It's spread.
Yes, ma'am, spread in the other part of the West. During this period, England enjoyed industrial pro- prosperity and came to be described as world factory. Rise in
Okay,
capitalism.
wait.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
I think we should stop over here. I will ask the questions based on the half of the part of the lesson. Okay, because we don't have that time, 15 minutes only we have. I don't think so that we will complete reading this. Okay, so let's start. In 1453, the city of dash dash was conquered by Ottoman Turk. Please write option in the chat box. Who conquered? Sorry, which city was conquered by Ottoman Turk? Yes, Constantinople. Okay, Mansi, please read the statement with answer.
In 1453, the city of Constantinople was conquered by the Ottoman Turks.
Okay. Next is the Industrial Revolution began in dash dash. Yes, yes, it's A, England. Please, Nidhi, will you please read the statement with answer?
Yes, ma'am. The Industrial Revolution began in England.
Okay. Okay. So let's have some questions based on that. Okay, I will ask you some questions based on whatever part we have learned. Okay, whatever part we have read now. So, what is period of Renaissance? Yes, what is period of Renaissance? Okay, Mansi. Yes, Mansi, please answer.
Yes, teacher. In the history of Europe, the last phase of medieval period, that is 13th to 16th century, is known as the period of Renaissance. During this period, Reformation, religious reform movement, and geographical discoveries laid the foundation of the modern era. Hence, this period is also known as the Age of Renaissance.
Okay. Who and when discovered the printing press? Who and when discovered a printing press? Who discovered a printing press and when? Yes, Rudra. Yes, Rudra, please unmute and answer. Who and when discovered a printing press? Okay, it's okay. Yes, anyone else? Yes, Nidhi?
Yes, ma'am. During 1450 AD, Johannes Gutenberg from Germany discovered the printing press.
Yes. Next, tell me about some geographical discoveries. Some geographical discoveries. Yes, Gaurav?
Yes, ma'am. During 15th century, European sailor went an expedition of discover sea route to India. In 1487 AD, ma'am, what is that word?
Bartolomeo. Bartolomeo Dias.
Bartolome Dias, a Portuguese sailor, began his expedition in search of India, but reached the tip of African continent, which we know as a Cape of the Good Hope. In 1492 AD, Christopher Columbus set on his journey to India by sailing towards west, but reached on the eastern coast of the continent of America. In 1498 AD, Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama managed to sail past the Cape of the Good Hope and reached Indian coast in Calicut.
Okay, good. Okay, how and where the industrial revolution took place? Where the industrial revolution took place first and how? Yes, Rudra?
Yes, miss. In the later period of 18th century, there were many technologies, innovations in Europe. Machines came to be Machines came to be used instead of hand looms. Railways and steamers become the mode of transportation. The age of machines began, that is known as a industrial revolution. Yes, miss. The
How it
industrial
took
revolution
place?
began in the England.
Okay. Okay, what was the religious reform movement? What was the religious reform movement? Okay, Mansi.
Yes, teacher. The in the intellectuals attacked the priest for looting the people in the name
Intellectuals.
intellectuals attacked the priest for looting the people in the name of religion. They attacked the old religious ideologies of Roman Catholic Church. The Christian the Christian priests took advantage of the ignorance of the people. The movement which started against these old religious ideologies and unnecessary rituals is known as religious reform movement. Due to this movement, human freedom and rationalism more gained more importance.
Okay. Yes, Nidhi, you wanted this, right? एडी. What एडी? आपण इसवी सन पूर्व असं म्हणतो ना, त्याला एडी म्हणतात. And AD is a term derived from Anno Domini. Anno Domini हा एक लॅटिन शब्द आहे. ओके, म्हणजे जसं आपण बीसी लिहितो ना, बिफोर क्रिस्ट लिहितात. 5th स्टँडर्डला होतं हे तुम्हाला. ओके, यू हॅव स्टडीड दिस इन युअर 5th स्टँडर्ड हिस्ट्री. हिस्ट्री और EVS1, EVS2 आय थिंक. ओके, EVS2 मध्ये होतं हे तुम्हाला. एडी इज एनो डॉमिनी. एनो डॉमिनी हा एक लॅटिन भाषेतला शब्द आहे, म्हणजे देवाचं वर्ष. आपण सध्या ख्रिश्चन कॅलेंडर मध्ये चाललो आहे, माहिती आहे तुम्हाला. आपलं कॅलेंडर कोणतं आहे? ख्रिश्चन एरावर बेस्ड आहे. ओके, आपलं जे कॅलेंडर आहे, इंग्लिश कॅलेंडर आपण यूज करतो, ते ख्रिश्चन एरावर बेस्ड आहे. आणि त्याचाच हा भाग आहे एडी. एडी म्हणजे बीसी प्रमाणेच, बिफोर क्रिस्ट. एडी म्हणजे एनो डॉमिनी, हा एक एरा आहे. बिफोर क्रिस्ट, एडी म्हणजे इयर ऑफ द लॉर्ड, देवाचं वर्ष असं म्हटलं जातं त्याला. ओके. नेक्स्ट इज, टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट फ्रेंच रिव्होल्यूशन. व्हॉट व्हॅल्यूज did the French Revolution gave to the world? Yes, Gaurav, you have to explain what is French Revolution and what
Yes,
values.
ma'am.
Okay.
In 1780, the people of France revolted against the uncontrolled and unjust monarchy and feudalism and established a republic. This event is known as French Revolution. The French Revolution gave to the world the three values of liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have completed each and every topic. Okay, we have not completed American War of Independence. Yes, who will explain American War of Independence? Yes. Okay, Rudra.
Yes, miss. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, miss. Imperialist European countries established colonies in different regions of America. England established 13 colonies on the east coast of America. So England laid oppressive restrictions and taxes on these colonies, which created discontent in the people revolted. George Washington led the American army in the war against England. The colonies won the war, and a new nation known as the United States of America was born. It had a federal government, written constitution, and was based on the principle of democracy. Thank you.
Okay. So we have completed each and everything from lesson number 1 and half of the lesson number 2. we have revised. Okay, and whatever we have revised, I have asked you question based on that. So anyone has any doubt in this? I think whatever doubt you had, everything has cleared now. Okay, so we will go by this only uh, till we completed our revision of lesson number 4. In the next lecture, we will complete lesson number 2 and 3. Okay, lesson number 2 जो अर्धा राहिलेला आहे and 3 we will complete, and when we reach to lesson number 4, then we will start with lesson number 5. Yeah, okay, you all are okay with this? Yes, tell me. I think this idea is will go well as we are going forward. Yes, yes, thank you so much. So as we are going forward, तुम्ही मागचं सगळं विसरून जाऊ शकता. मग जर अशी रिव्हिजन आपण घेत राहिलो, so that will be, I think that will be best for you. Okay, so we will go by this way only. Civics also we will revise one lesson we have completed, right? Only one lesson, right, of civics? Tell me. Okay, okay, okay. So in the next lecture, I think before starting lesson number 5 of history, after completing revision, we will start lesson number 2 of civics. Okay. So your homework will be uploaded. I will mark some question based on the exercise. Okay. In the exercise screenshot, I will mark some question and I will upload that image on Google Classroom, and you can write the particular questions only. Okay. Okay. So now you all can leave the class. Bye bye everyone.
Bye,
Thank
ma'am.
you for
Thank you, ma'am.
answering. Yes, thank you for
Bye, miss.
answering
Thank you,
very
miss.
well. Bye.
Bye, miss. Thank you, miss.
Bye bye. Welcome.
Bye, miss. Thank you.
Bye.